Oh my God, that thing is loud. Hey, Todd from the Bueller Bunch, welcome. Doing some yard work just before we get to our new video, which is about our F-150. We've had it for a year. It's a 2018 F-150 XLT. And we're gonna tell you some good things, some bad things, and some things that we've done to it that have made our towing experience that much better. So come along before I lose all my hearing. And they say these electric ones are quieter. No. Well, welcome. Hi, this is Todd. As you can tell, I'm driving. Today we're going to talk about my first year with our new truck, well, new to us, our F-150 that we got last year. And it's been a year and we've used it, and we've used it for towing. We're using it for our daily drives and everything like that. The F-150 that we have is an XLT. It's not the Lariat, it's not the Platinum, it is the XLT. So it doesn't come with a bunch of chrome and add-on doodads, because the more you mess with or add doodads onto your truck, or the higher trim package it has, the more or the less your truck is going to be able to carry. Makes sense to me, because they're all the same truck. It's just when you put more and more stuff on it, you're not going to be able to carry as much. So the truck we had before, and I'll link the video here, was a 2018 Chevy Silverado. You can see the details, but what we found out about that truck in essence is it couldn't really tow anything, because it was more of a work truck and it wasn't really a truck made for towing. This one is made for towing. So this has the Max Tow package. What is that? The Max Tow package, it's just what it pretty much says. It's able to max out the towing abilities of this truck. So this can tow up to 11,700 pounds, and that's pulling. That's not on it, that's different. Everything that's on the truck, passengers, cargo, tongue weight, that's the capacity of this truck. That's what it can carry. What it can pull is different. It can pull 11,700 pounds. Our trailer max weight will be 7,200 pounds, so we're definitely under that weight. Cargo capacity, however, is what maxes out most half-ton pickup trucks. Half-ton pickup trucks are going to be limited on not how much they can pull, but how much they can carry on it. Make sense? It should. So this truck here has a cargo capacity of 1,754 pounds. Sounds like a lot, but it really is limited. You got to realize that 800 of that, or around between 800 and 900, is what our trailer tongue weight is. So now we've taken off all that. So now we've got about 1,900 pounds to deal with. And that 900 pounds can add up really quickly. If you're a bigger family of 4, add up everybody's weight, it gets up there pretty good. You could be adding up about 600, 700, 800 pounds, depending on the size of the family. Higher option trucks don't carry as much. They can pull the same, they just can't carry as much. Make sense? You can see where the capacity on an F-150 or a half-ton can get loaded up pretty quickly. So on our truck, we did a lot of mods, a lot of modifications. I did some stuff for towing, and I also did stuff for convenience and the coolness of it. And a lot of that was done through a program called FORSCAN. FORSCAN is a computer program, and you buy a cable and you hook it to your laptop, and then you connect it to your truck. And there are some options that have been turned off on a lot of the trucks. You can turn them on. Some of the options that I've done is I've activated it so that the headlights, the high beams, and the fog lights all can come on at the same time. Normal truck, when you have your high beams on, your low beams turn off. Another mod, which is kind of neat, is the daytime running lights on this were the headlights. That's all. They weren't any different than anything else. They didn't have the little cool little LEDs, because this is a 2018 Ford. What I did is I turned it so that my daytime running lights are the parking lights. So it kind of gives you a different look. And because those running light, those turn signal lights that are on, they're bright, and I put LEDs in it so they're even brighter. So they do act as a very good daytime running light. The headlights on this one that came with the 2018s, boy, they were dim. They were halogen type bulbs. So I went and I got better lights. I got some LED lights for all of the whole front end. So I've got headlights, high beams, and I have fog lights that are all LED. The fog lights are really cool. They're called a switchback, and just by pressing the button once and turning them off and turning them on, they'll change to a different color. So they can do white light, which is really bright, and the yellow ones come on if you just turn it back. If you turn it off, turn it back on, they come on yellow. And that is a really good option, because here in Northern California we get foggy, and sometimes that fog is thick as molasses. Another option I did with FORSCAN was on some of the newer vehicles, if you just tap on the turn signals, they'll blink 3 times and then they turn off if you just tap them. In mine, when I click it now, it does it 6 times. So it gives me a little bit longer period of time, especially when I'm towing. I want people to see it. Otherwise, I'm always afraid that I'm gonna be driving down the road with my turn signal on. Not a good look. With the FORSCAN, I even messed with the climate control. Now I can see the heated seats are actually on my display. I can see the temperature, I can see the fan speed and all that stuff on my display now. There's lots of videos explaining what FORSCAN is, so I'd look into it. It may be for you, it may not be for you, but it wasn't too hard. The key is you gotta have a laptop. All right, the F-150, there's a lot of stuff to love with this truck. There really is. I mean, the view, the windows are big. You can see really well. When we had the Chevy Silverado, it seemed like we were sitting down in it, and this truck's got great view. And that's what you want out of a truck. You want to be able to see, especially when you're towing, you want the view. I find even the stock passenger mirrors that are on the F-150s work great with our trailer. I've got the extenders to extend them, and I find myself using the regular mirrors more than the extended mirrors. They just, for me, they work. The comfort, Kristen loves the comfort. F-150s are obviously a half-ton. They operate more like a passenger vehicle. They're easier to park. They're easier to drive. They drive like a truck, or I mean, they drive like a car or a sedan. So as far as the comfort goes, love the comfort. I mean, it was night and day between the Chevy 1500 and this one. Night and day, literally night and day. The other thing too about Ford, the F-150s, is there's a lot of aftermarket stuff you can put your money into, and you can make these things look some really cool, and you can make them look really industrial. We don't want to do that. We like our truck the way it looks. But there's just a lot of aftermarket parts, and Ford kind of thought of that, I think, because the way you can take this truck apart and put the aftermarket parts on is pretty easy. Well, those are some noisy tires. Wouldn't want that on my truck. So one thing about trucks, cars, pretty much anything, you need maintenance. The maintenance on these things, pretty simple. Today I'm heading to the Ford dealership. Guess what? To get an oil change. And yeah, it's just too darn early, and it's cold. Leaving this place. Ooh, heated seats. You're riding shotgun. The feeling we chase. I'm wide awake. Take me away now. 'Cause I won't go down the same old path again now. No, I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy. Making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. Well, now it's just a matter of waiting, obviously, for my oil change. But I get to come out here and look at all the new trucks. And how much do you think these are? Well, that's not bad. Granted, it's an XL. But come on. It's a 250. And now we're looking at, this is more my style right there. How much my style will cost me. That's not bad. Thought there was a truck shortage. I'm thinking that's my style, but boy, that one looks kind of fun. You can't see it, but that's not too bad. Actually, that's 80 grand for this Black Widow edition. Nice looking truck though. I just can't see myself getting in and out of these things. I mean, come on, the mirror is as... Okay, this is the top of the mirror. It's taller than I am. That's a little bit too tall of a truck. I mean, the door handle is like right here. And you're thinking, oh yeah, those are 150s next to these, and you're like, no, those are just 250s. On the way home, another $200 oil change. Well, they also changed the cabin air filter, and get the mask out of the way. And they rotated my tires, so yeah, they do a little bit. And they washed my truck, so I'm good with it. You know, some people reported that the truck runs hot. I found it runs warm. It runs in the 200, 205, between 190 when I'm not towing. When I am towing, it can get, I've seen it get up to like 225, 230. That seems a little hot to me. So the truck does run warm, and I assume that that's just because of the twin turbos. That's just how they kind of work. They you know, think more moving things, the more heat. So our truck is a 4-wheel drive, and it sits up a little higher than regular 2-wheel drive. It's not really an issue for me. I'm 6'2" on a tall truck. I can get in and out pretty well. However, when we use the truck to transport other people, the back end obviously is raked up a little bit. Grandparents have a little trouble getting in the truck. Once they're in, they're comfortable as all get out, but getting in the truck is more of an ordeal than getting out. If you're mobility challenged, it's going to be a little tougher to get in and out. One more issue we had, it's the backup sensors. They're built into the bumper. We had one of the sensors was going nutty. It was just, the minute we put it in reverse, it acted like there was something behind us. I found that what you can do to clear these up is spray some WD-40 in it. WD-40 stands for water displacing. If you squirt that on your sensor and then wipe it off, it works fine. It hasn't had any problems since. So what did we find when we first towed it with the F-150? We originally towed it without any mods to the truck because I wanted to see what it's like with this trailer towing it. And when we put the Equalizer E4 hitch on, it was sagging a little. It was sitting square kind of, but you could tell it was sagging in the back end. I didn't like that, but it didn't look that bad. When we did tow, it was what we call porpoising, and it was bouncing around, and it wasn't you know, scary bouncing around, but it just felt like a big boat, and you hit a wave and it just kind of, I didn't like that. It just kept, you know, and then you hit another bump, and so it was constantly doing this wavy thing, and it didn't like that. It didn't feel that secure. So one of the first things I did to it was I put the Bilstein 5100 shocks on it, stiffened the rear end up really good to better help it sit and square up. I got the Roadmaster active suspension, the heavy duty model. No more squat in the rear end. Matter of fact, it lifted it really level, and it squared everything up, and no more bounce. Well, that's it. That's our F-150. We like our truck, we really do. There are some little things here and there, they're kind of quirky, you'll get used to them. Some things that are of a concern, but if you're mindful about the maintenance on your vehicle, I think these things are great option for those smaller trailers. Anything over about 7,500 pounds, and you're pushing the limits of these trucks. Because you got to realize that tongue weight is going to be close to 800 pounds, and then take away 800 pounds off that cargo capacity, you're done. So great truck, we really enjoyed it, and thanks for coming. And Jesse, I hope you get your new truck soon. Hey, thanks for coming in and joining us on our F-150 review after a year. It's been really fun. Now it's back to my yard. Oh man, California. California, here I come to break my eardrums.